Right, so get this. We're talking about a 1,000-year-old seed.
Wow.
And not one that's like, just stuck in a museum exhibit somewhere.
All right.
This one actually sprouted.
Really?
Yeah, it turned into a tree, a living, breathing tree. So that's what we're going to be diving into today.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's this wild story, kind of mixes like ancient history with,
Yeah.
cutting edge science, all that good stuff.
Yeah, when we're talking ancient seeds, I mean, this is a seed that was dormant, basically, since, the Byzantine Empire,
Right.
hidden away, like tucked away in the Judean Desert. Can you imagine?
Wow.
And now it's a 10-foot tree, thanks to some seriously dedicated scientists, let me tell you.
Wow. It's incredible.
They even gave it a name. They call it Sheba.
Sheba.
Yeah.
I mean, 1,000 years. It must have taken forever to like coax this thing back to life.
You have no idea. 14 years.
14 years.
14 years this team worked
Yeah.
to bring this ancient seed back from extinction, basically.
Makes you wonder what else is out there, right?
Absolutely. I mean, just imagine the secrets that are just like buried,
Right.
waiting to be, dug up.
Exactly. It's
Eva.
mind-blowing.
Okay, so let me get this straight.
Yeah.
We've got a 1,000-year-old seed.
Yep.
We've got a cave. I mean, I imagine this cave has, seen some things.
Oh, you have no idea. We're talking about Wadi El Makuk Cave
Yeah.
near Jerusalem.
Okay.
This place is steeped in history. I mean, we're talking Byzantine monks, Jewish revolts against the Romans.
Oh, wow.
You name it, this cave has seen it all.
It's like a time capsule.
So we've got a 1,000-year-old seed, a cave with a serious past, and a tree named Sheba. Where do we even begin with this?
Well, I think the first clue's right there in that location you mentioned.
Okay.
Wadi El Makuk.
Right.
That area, it actually lines up with some, some descriptions and some really, really old texts,
Yeah.
ancient texts, talking about where they found certain plants.
Okay.
And not just any plants. These were valuable plants that were known for, healing, having properties that could,
But you say that this little seed could be like some
Oh, it's possible.
lost medicine.
It's definitely possible.
Wow.
I mean, wouldn't that be something to rediscover some kind of wonder drug from,
That'd be incredible.
lost to the sands of time?
Yeah, from the ancient world.
Exactly.
Wow, that's incredible. So is that what they thought at first? Was that kind of like the first theory they were working with?
Well, yeah, one of the first things researchers thought about was, could this be it? Could this be the source of the Balm of Gilead?
Balm of Gilead. Wait.
You've heard of that, right?
Yeah, it's in the Bible, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's supposed to be this big like cure-all, right? I mean, almost mythical, I think.
That's right. Yeah, it was really valuable back then. They thought it could cure like everything, headaches, anything to do with your stomach, all kinds of stuff.
Wow, and kings and queens were using this stuff, weren't they?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was highly sought after.
So what happened? Did our little seed turn out to be this legendary balm?
Well, not quite.
Yeah.
No. The scientists, they did their analysis, they looked at what Sheba's made of chemically,
Right.
and it turns out it just didn't match up.
Really?
Yeah, it was missing some key ingredients. Those aromatic compounds they were looking for just weren't there.
So that's it. No biblical connection after all.
Well, not so fast.
What do you mean?
We got to remember, we're talking about ancient texts here. They can be open to interpretation,
Right.
Plus, there might be another possibility, you see.
Okay.
It might not be the Balm of Gilead, but it could be something else.
Like what?
Well, there's this other plant mentioned in the Bible.
Okay.
It's called tsori.
Tsori. I don't think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's not as well known, I'll admit. I had to do a little digging myself. But the interesting thing is, tsori, it's described as a healing balm,
Okay.
specifically for treating, like, wounds, skin problems.
Interesting.
And get this, the region where they found Sheba's seed, it lines up perfectly with where they say tsori came from.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
So there's a chance that our little Sheba could actually be
It's possible, yeah.
connected to this biblical medicine.
It's definitely a possibility.
Wow, that's fascinating. But what about the actual tree itself?
Oh,
Is there anything in this tree that could actually, live up to all this hype about ancient healing powers?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
Luckily, the scientists working with Sheba, they've been busy. They've been analyzing its chemical makeup, and it's actually really fascinating stuff.
Okay, what did they find?
Well, for one, Sheba is packed with these things called Pentacyclic triterpenoids.
Penta.
Chuckles. It's a mouthful, I know. Pentacyclic triterpenoids.
Okay.
But just bear with me for a second, okay? Imagine them like tiny little warriors.
Tiny warriors.
Inside the plant, and their whole job is to fight inflammation. Wherever they go, they're fighting inflammation. Pretty cool, huh?
So these tiny warriors, are those what gave this tsori stuff its reputation?
That's what we think.
Wow. So this ancient tree, it might hold the secrets to like modern medicine.
Well, it's possible, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Some of our most powerful anti-inflammatory drugs today, they come from plants.
That's true.
Yeah.
From a 1,000-year-old seed to a potential, a cancer fighter?
Well, I don't know about all that, but
This is already an incredible story.
it is. It really...
And it sounds like it might just be getting started.
Oh, it doesn't stop there.
Really?
No, not even close.
Hold on, you were saying something about Sheba's chemical makeup.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Something about tiny warriors or something like that?
Exactly, yeah. Pentacyclic triterpenoids.
Right. The tiny warrior.
The inflammation fighters, yeah.
And those could be like, the key to all this.
Well, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, right?
Right.
It's still early, but yeah, it's exciting to think that, something from this ancient tree could actually have some real benefits for medicine today,
It's kind of like, I don't know, it reminds me of like an Indiana Jones movie or something.
Yeah, right?
Like we're talking about ancient remedies.
It's like lost knowledge rediscovered.
Exactly.
And it makes you think, like, what else is out there?
Right. What else have we forgotten?
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of forgotten remedies, remember we were talking about the Balm of Gilead?
Oh, yeah. The legendary cure-all.
Right. Supposed to fix everything.
Practically mythical.
Yeah, exactly. But when we look at the tsori stuff,
Yeah.
it seems like it was more for specific things.
Really?
Yeah. Like it was known for treating wounds and skin problems.
Interesting.
So kind of a specialist, you know?
Okay, so not a general practitioner, this tsori.
Right, exactly. More of a specialist, like you said. And this is where Sheba's chemical makeup gets even more interesting.
Okay, how so?
Well, on top of those pentacyclic whatchamacallits, Sheba's also got a lot of squalene.
Squalene, wait.
Yeah, squalene.
That sounds familiar. I feel like I've heard that before.
Yeah, you might recognize it from, like, skincare products, actually.
Right.
It's a really good antioxidant.
Yeah. Okay, it's all coming back to me now.
Yeah, it helps protect your skin, from damage.
Okay, so you're telling me this one ancient tree could hold the secret to curing diseases and getting rid of wrinkles.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, okay?
Right. Of course.
We don't want to make any promises we can't keep.
Right. Responsible research and all that.
Exactly. But yeah, you got to admit, it's a pretty exciting thought.
It is. So where do we go from here? What happens next?
Well, the research is still ongoing, right?
Yeah.
They're still looking into Sheba, seeing what else they can learn.
Yes, of course.
But, to me, the most exciting part of all this is what it tells us about, about how we think about the world.
What do you mean?
Well, we tend to think about the Bible as, just a religious text or a history book.
Yeah, that's true.
But what if it's more than that? What if it holds, like, actual scientific knowledge that, we lost sight of over time?
That's a really interesting way to look at it.
Right. And it makes you wonder, what else is out there? What other secrets are we missing?
It's like all those old myths and stories about magical herbs and potions.
Exactly.
Maybe they weren't so far-fetched after all.
I know, right? It's like our ancestors knew more than we gave them credit for,
Yeah, absolutely. It really makes you think. But, I mean, this is all amazing, but aren't there, like, risks involved, too?
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
I mean, we're talking about powerful substances here, right?
We definitely need to be careful, right? We can't just start using things without understanding them fully.
Right. Like, what about side effects, long-term impacts, things like that?
Exactly. We got to do our homework, make sure we're not doing more harm than good,
Makes sense.
And, it's not just about people either. We have to think about the environment, too.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course.
Sheba, I mean, that was a long process to bring that tree back.
Yeah, 14 years, you said.
14 years. We can't just assume we can do that with every seed we find.
Right. It's like, with great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly.
Even when it comes to something as small as a seed.
That's a good way to put it.
This whole story has been amazing. This is why I love doing this show.
Yeah, me too.
Every time we do one of these deep dives, it's like uncovering some new piece of the puzzle,
I know. It's amazing what's out there, just waiting to be discovered.
It really makes you think, something so small, like a seed.
I know, right?
It's like this tiny little thing.
And all that potential packed inside.
Yeah, exactly.
Really makes you realize, how much we still don't know about the natural world.
Makes you want to go out and start digging for ancient seeds, doesn't it?
Well, maybe not randomly.
Right, of course.
But I get what you mean. It's exciting.
Yeah, like maybe there's another Sheba out there somewhere.
Who knows? There could be.
Just waiting to be found.
That's the beauty of it, isn't it? There's always something new to discover.
So what happens next? What's next for Sheba?
Well, the research is still going on.
Okay, so they're still learning more about it.
Yeah, they're looking at its chemical makeup, seeing if they can, figure out how to use it.
Like for medicine and stuff like that?
Exactly.
I mean, it really feels like we're just scratching the surface here,
I think so. There's so much potential.
It's exciting.
It really is. And to think it all started with that one seed.
Yeah, 1,000 years old.
Just waiting all that time to come back to life.
It's a pretty incredible story.
It really is. A story of, resilience.
Yeah, and the power of science.
Absolutely. To take something that old and bring it back.
It's amazing.
It is. And it makes you wonder, what else is possible?
That's a good question, and I think that's a good place to leave it for today. This has been another incredible deep dive, I've got to say.
It has been fascinating.
Thank you so much for, taking us on this journey and sharing your expertise with us.
It was my pleasure, really.
And to everyone listening, we'll be back soon with another deep dive, another fascinating topic, another chance to explore the wonders of our world.
Until then, stay curious.
See you next time.